I always had to drive to win. I always wanted to win. I always wanted to be the best. It's just that mentality.
That is the best sports creator in the valley. That obviously led you to getting an award.
I'm going to go frame by frame, where someone else is going to go like maybe three other frames. I want my stuff to look like, oh no, this is one of a kind. This is Brandon Banks.
Brandon started his career playing college basketball to then filming some of the best college basketball schools in the country.
UK just randomly found me. I didn't even put out a single basketball video at Martin yet. And all of a sudden I'm on my DMs on Twitter from people at Kentucky. I'm just over here like, is this real? Am I getting punked?
But despite being at most people's dream school, he found himself going through one of the toughest stretches of his career.
I really thought that Kentucky was going to be my long-term home. I was out of there in a year. There was a lot of nights where I cried, I was low, and I did not feel good about myself. I really thought I was a terrible creative. You know, eventually, once that growth started coming in, all of a sudden those negative thoughts and negative things go away. And once you're confident in who you are, oh man, like you become unstoppable.
If you could just tell somebody one thing to help them jumpstart their career in sports, what's the one thing you would leave them with?
This is something I go by, and it helps me a lot.
Brandon, appreciate you coming on, dude. I've
Thank
been
you.
excited for this conversation, especially from your experience and everything like that.
Dude, me too.
So take me back to the beginning. Did you always know you wanted to work in sports and creative video?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I had an idea. Like, a lot of kids grew up wanting to be like astronauts and, you know, doctors and everything. And then all of a sudden when they grow up, they change things. Me, I had it when I was 10 and finally figure out what I wanted to do, or at least the idea. I really stuck with it. I never changed course. I always knew I wanted to work with cameras or make highlights. You know, I was just watching SportsCenter one day, and then the top 10 highlights came in, and I was like, oh, like this looks really cool. I want to do something like that. But obviously, like SportsCenter is a broadcast, but the way everything has developed since then and stuff, like I knew I wanted to work with a camera and work in sports for sure, especially with basketball. So yeah, in a way you can kind of say it. At least you had the idea, but the older you got, the more clear it became, you know?
I feel that. I remember waking up early in the mornings and watching the SC Top 10.
Yeah.
Like it was just the thing to watch.
It was.
In middle school, high school.
Yeah.
Even before then.
Yeah, and like you see all the cool plays and stuff, and you're just like, oh, but I want to put that together though, you know? Mm-hmm. So yeah.
So when did you first start getting, like what was your first, I guess, genre that you filmed? Was it sports that you first got into?
Yeah, it was.
What level was it?
It was high school actually. So funny enough, so I started editing when I was like 12 with Windows Movie Maker and stuff, and starting to edit with my own highlights because my dad would always film. And unfortunately, I wish I knew how to edit back then, because my dad is the type of person that would like film and then it's like, oh, Brandon, and then he gets distracted by the game and was watching the game, but the camera is the other way. So there's a lot of highlights that he missed. But anyways, be on the point. So I put together my own highlights, and then in high school, I started filming my own highlights. I mean, not my highlights, but started filming like basketball. I was filming our varsity team while I was on JV or sophomore team or whatever at that time. And then after that, I started putting stuff together and started to learn how to edit. And then at first, it just started off as a hobby. And then going into my senior year of college, I decided to go ahead and stop. Like, I was a basketball player as well. I played basketball up until my junior year. Then once my junior season was done, I decided to give up basketball and pick up the camera, and then been filming ever since. And that's been, wow, I want to say, oh my God, we're about to enter 9 years. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I interviewed Carson up in Miami, and he talked about how even when you're going to film, like go out and meet people, like talk to people. Don't just kind of sit with your head down in the camera. And that kind of reminded me of it, because people aren't going to see your stuff unless they know you. Yeah. And yeah, I'm sure you could find people on social media and you'll get followers that you've never met in person. Yeah. But meeting people in person and building that connection is what's going to take you to the next level. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, to kind of build on what you just said too, was like, absolutely meeting people, and not only that, meet people, but be a good person. Be a genuine, I wouldn't say nice, but be a genuine, kind person. Be selfless, be supportive, because that, like, when you give that support to others and you give those other things to others and stuff, when down the road, those people, like I said, word of mouth, it gets out, especially in the world of sports. It's small. That like their impression of you, people will talk about you in rooms that you're not even in. And when you give that good impression, you know, they're going to speak positive on you, you know, and then that's how you end up in like that's how I end up here, honestly. When it comes, so I wouldn't be here at Murray State and even the other places. Like my first job at Martin wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for me, my talent, but also me being a good person. Someone saw my work and saw how good of a person I was. Coach Tim Pete, shout out Coach Tim Pete, by the way. He is the reason why I'm here. I'm extremely grateful for him. He was a coach, I think, at Missouri Western when I was at Emporia State. And then he got hired on at UT Martin for a little bit, and they were looking for a creative as well. And they were looking for a creative, and he said, "Hey, what about this kid over at Emporia State?" And he suggested me. And then the AD called me. We talked a little bit. He got the vibe of the person I was and how I operated, and offered me the job right there. And I said, "Yes, I'll absolutely take it." You know, so that's how I got my first job. And never heard of UT Martin that day. Until that day, until the AD called me and stuff. So, yeah, and like I said, to break into the sports world like that, or to Division I like that, was special. But like I said, I wouldn't be here without Coach Tim Pete.
Yeah, sometimes it's not about what you know; it's about who you know. Mm-hmm. And obviously, you having both definitely elevated you to the next level. And I agree completely on that point that you made earlier. Just it takes nothing to be nice. Yeah, it's free 99.
Exactly.
Just be nice, and Yeah, I genuinely have the belief that you put good things out into the world, good things are going to come back. Mm-hmm. And you should do things not with the anticipation of getting something in return, but knowing that, it'll eventually come back to you.
Yeah, exactly.
It always will.
Yeah.
And absolutely. So you talking about how you went to UT and how you got that opportunity. Mm-hmm. Walk me through the other opportunities that you got into and I guess the lessons you learned going into those. I mean, especially going from Graceland to Emporia to UT Martin to UK, Kentucky, big D1 program, and now Murray. Like, is there anything you did differently than other people trying to break in, or how did you go about getting those opportunities?
The opportunities honestly just found me. Crazy enough. So, like I said, the way I ended up at Martin was it was just a random job that basically found me because, again, kind of word of mouth and stuff, and which is also how I ended up a little bit at Kentucky, and especially how I ended up at Murray State. I ran into a lot of Murray State creatives and even former creatives that we linked up somehow, some way, just because small world. But when Murray State opened up, all those guys said, "Hey, get him. He wants to be at Murray State." I really did. And yeah, then when the interview process came in, I was the guy, and they were like, "Yeah, we want you." So yeah, Scotty, Cameron Whitty, Jonah King, Robert Franco, shout out to them as well. They were the reason why I ended up at Murray State. But like I said, just everything that I've done, I wouldn't be here without the people. People has been very supportive of me, and I always give back to the people as well. I really do my best to give back, at least. So, yeah, that. Like I said, that's kind of how the job found me, and just by being a good person, doing the best you can, and like I said, people will speak out for you. Did I answer the question, or?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I feel like I'm rambling at times. I really do. It's like I get lost, and it's like, I hope I'm answering the question right.
No, you're providing value. And that's what podcasts are. It's just two people rambling.
Yeah. Valid. Before games and stuff, it just hit me so hard. The first time I saw it, I was like, yo, this is really good. I didn't know I could make something like this. It was it just hit my soul. Seeing the players go crazy, seeing everybody around you go crazy and stuff. They're like, yo, everybody was just really into it. And I felt really good about it. And that's kind of what went into it this year as well, along with, the extra step of making, actually mixing music. I just faded music last year, but this year I actually learned how to mix music, and that was really cool as well.
Yeah, that's my favorite videos to watch too. It's almost like the hype videos that just get the people going and makes you feel something. Mm-hmm. Oh my
it's
gosh.
provocative.
Literally.
Yeah.
And like even outside of video, like football entrances, like just the hype and the pregame hype that goes into a game is just insane.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So especially taking into account that you won that award, what's the best way for somebody to reach out to the athletic departments trying to get in? Like, do they need to create their own videos and show their own work? Like you were saying before, should they, outside of doing the actual work, is there a certain way that they should reach out to those departments? I mean, they could go knock on the front door and kind of do it that way, but I feel like that's a bit aggressive. But
I mean,
maybe that is the way. I don't know, but
it's by any means necessary, Now be respectful with it. Please don't come in like hire me, Yeah, like if you want to get your foot in the door with like Division I and stuff, first I'm going to say this. Everybody pay attention to this, but you gotta do it for free. You can't ask and be like, "Hey, can I work for you? And can you pay me? Can you reimburse me and stuff?" Everybody's going to look at you crazy, like, "What? No, gone somewhere, boy."
Thought it was free 99.
Yeah, exactly. Nah, you like. It's one of those things where that's what I did a lot when I was coming up. I worked so many free jobs, and then the more I worked, the more free jobs I worked and free games I worked. That's how I was able to build up my portfolio. Then when the time finally came to go up to the next level and work those games for free and stuff too, it's just a level up thing. Like I said, when the time comes up and I had to work those games for free, like started going from high school to all of a sudden Division I, is because I level up and putting like random stuff together, make the sacrifice, like travel, spend your own money, everything, and then once you create the video and then show the people like what you're able to create and stuff, everybody's going to be like amazed and appreciative and stuff. And then eventually your name is going to get out there because people are talking about you like, "Hey, there's this kid right here who put this together for us. Maybe give him some business, or look at him, hire him," stuff like that. So yeah, that's something where it's like I said, work for free, reach out as well. But sometimes you don't even have to reach out, just word of mouth because of the work you put in, the person you are. Gets out as well.
Specifically, so Murray, I love that you reiterated it's about who you know, not what you know. Take me back to even like UK. How did you go about that opportunity specifically too?
UK just randomly found me. Like at first, and they found me 3 months into my job at Martin, which is crazy. I'm like, y'all reaching out to me? What? Like, I just got a random DM on Twitter. I didn't even put out a single basketball video at Martin yet, like a game or anything. And then all of a sudden I'm on my DMs on Twitter and from people at Kentucky. I'm just over here like, is this real? Am I getting punked? Like, yeah. And then, so they reached out to me. And then funny enough, I was actually on a road trip with the women's team. And one of the teams that we played was Louisville. So someone from Kentucky picked me up from Louisville, took me to a Kentucky game, showed me around and everything, and then took me back. And I wasn't considering leaving Martin. Like I wanted to stay a couple years, but as time went on, but also this is one of those things where growing pains came in a little bit. Ego as well. I didn't know, I was new to everything and I had a little bit of an ego. I didn't know it, but yeah, I went from wanting to stay at Martin to all of a sudden, let me go ahead and take this opportunity at Kentucky. So yeah, but like I said, they just reached out to me just out of the random when it came to Kentucky. And that was a very, very, very challenging stretch. Definitely most challenging of my career.
Really? Why is that?
Yeah. So when I came into Kentucky, like I said, it was a mix of ego for sure, but we just basically had creative differences, They're good people over there, I did the best that I could. They did the best they could with me, but it just didn't work out. And that's okay. Sometimes things just don't work out. Doesn't mean that, this place is bad. It doesn't mean, you're bad or whatever. Like, it's just simple. It just didn't work out. But even then I had to like the things I went through over there, I really had to, it really broke me down to a point where I really had to go into survival mode, So there was some things that I grew from. There were some things that that I had to overcome. A lot of challenges, all of that. I went from working men's basketball to no longer working men's basketball. I had to work like tennis and all these other side sports and stuff, which is funny because that's what they brought me on for. And I killed it. I did the best I could there, and it was fun. It was uplifting. Being with that men's tennis team it definitely saved my career and saved me, and I am forever grateful for that team. When not during my time there, but I like I said, I really overcame a lot, and I even failed a lot there too. There was a lot of nights where I cried. There was a lot of nights where I was low and I did not feel good about myself. I really thought I was a terrible creative, and then, eventually once that growth started coming in, all of a sudden those negative thoughts and negative things go away. And all of a sudden, you get out the hole and then you're better and stronger than before, So yeah, but like I said, just thankful. I mean, overall, at the end of the day, even though my experience at Kentucky wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, I'm still grateful for that team over there because they made that low point made me the person I am at Murray State today. Really, I'm forever grateful for them.
And I think that's a good thing for people to hear because people see a D1 program as big as Kentucky, and seeing you leave them and what went into that, and people probably think what are you doing? But sometimes you got to put yourself first.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes the best opportunities in one person's eyes isn't the best opportunity for that specific person. And so,
yeah, I really thought that Kentucky was going to be my long-term home. I was out of there in a year, it sucked, but you even said it, it's or you said it in a way, but bigger doesn't mean better, bigger will come with a lot more, I want to say red tape, stipulations, constraints, stuff like that. That was kind of one of the reasons why I had to leave. I couldn't be me. Yeah. I had to go somewhere to be me.
And I talked about that exact thing with somebody else on the pod, just being at a big program, you're probably doing just one thing. You're in one lane, like you were saying with the red tape. Where at a smaller program, you have free reign to kind of do whatever you want, and sometimes that's more valuable than being at a bigger program. And a lot of times that is ego filled, and I totally get it. I feel like it's fun to do a big program sometimes, but you touched on how sports industry can be demanding and the mental health aspect that plays into it. Is there anything you learned that you can tell other people that might be going through that, especially this season, that, prioritizing yourself in order to perform at your best, stuff that other people can emulate?
Ooh, we're going to be here forever, y'all. It's kind of like this. Everybody will see, the awards and the cool videos, and even when they see me working, they see me smiling, into it, passionate. I'm talking to everyone, I'm being just my goofy self. I might break a dance a little bit, but what they don't see at times is sometimes that stuff when those moments when you are alone or when the bad does happen. So kind of like how I had my challenging season at Kentucky, this is also the most challenging season I've ever had at Murray State within the 3 years. There was a lot of there's a lot of unpredictable things, and there was a lot of change. There's a lot I've never dealt with before, and I didn't handle that well at all. Even though I was on in the face of everything, I was my smiling self, but behind the scenes I was stressed. I felt conflicted. Again, I made a lot of mistakes this year compared to my last 2 years at Murray State. And I really felt like I lost myself this season, and I really had to relearn that self-love, and because as everything went on, as more stressed I was getting and stuff, and the more work I was doing, my mental health really started to go down. And I really had to take that time and force myself to and to force myself to take care of myself, like one of the most important things especially when it comes to your mental health, self-talk, self-love is so, so important, like really important. Like when you give that to yourself, all of a sudden your morale boosts up and everything. All of a sudden the creative flow happens. All of a sudden you're a lot more motivated to do more. It all comes in, but you really have to work on your self-talk. And it's not just a once a week thing or once a day thing. It is like almost every hour, every second, every single day. It's nonstop. And that's kind of how I like lasted as long as I did. And it's never easy. There's some days where it's easy because there's some days when you're winning. But to give yourself that self-love when you're going through some losses and some failures and stuff, it's really hard. It's very hard, But like again, you got to keep giving yourself that love even in the darkest of times. You got to keep telling yourself everything's going to be okay, because at the end of the day, like we're just making videos, Mm-hmm. Something that Ryan Duffy told me. At the end of the day, we're just making videos. It's not the end of the world. We're not winning Oscars and stuff. Also, shout out Ryan Duffy, by the way. It's not the end of the world, and it's all fun at the end of the day. Because guess what, dude, you're working in sports. This is all fun, regardless. Not a lot of people get to do what you do. So, yeah, just enjoy it. But also, like I said, take care of you along the way. You have to.
I could not agree more. Mm-hmm. Plus, I know Murray State needs you breakdancing on the court. So I'm glad that you took care of yourself. We were just talking about this. People need the good energy from their coworkers, mm-hmm. and I know the people around you appreciate you.
I hope so. I hope so. Because there's some days where it's like, oh, we look like you. There's some days where it's like, Brandon, if you don't sit down, because I can have a lot of energy, and they're over here like, bruh, you're too energetic. You're too passionate. Like, sit down. Sit down somewhere. Respectfully.
Well, I've only known you for like a week or a couple weeks now, I guess. But I appreciate your energy, dude.
Thank you.
But I mean, you touched on the point. There's a dark side to working in sports, mm-hmm. for sure. There's a dark side to working in any industry, but specifically sports. What's another misconception that people might have about it? Because people look on the outside and they see, you get to go to games, you get to shoot games courtside for free, and it's like, mm-hmm. yeah, of course you're working, but you get access to things that normal people just don't get. People that pay hundreds of dollars to get. What is something that people don't see that they might not realize?
Well, depending on who you are and how much you put into this, there's a lot of sacrifice in this, So like along with your mental health, you're also giving up like holidays and stuff at times, time is, and then if you're someone like me who is 9 hours away from home, you only get to see your family twice. And sometimes you miss holidays because of that. And I say twice, but sometimes it's a stretch as well. So you're working weekends as well. So you don't get to get that time to go out with people and stuff, hang out with them. And then sometimes when you're traveling, not everyone travels, but you're traveling with a team. And then the rest of your coworkers are staying back, hanging out with each other. And then even when you're not traveling, like I said, this is something one like me, I'm working like late nights. It takes a lot of hours of how good and how much you want to be the best. And while you're working, again, you're isolating yourself. You're isolating yourself from everyone and everything, opportunities, all that, Now the sacrifice is worth it at the end when you get when you get the payoff and stuff. But like I said, it's very give and take. It's like even Kobe Bryant said it. When in his did he say he said it in Muse, like his little documentary or whatever. Like he was the kid that would wake up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., get his workouts in and stuff. And then while everybody was partying and stuff as well, like, Friday, Saturday nights, he was in the gym hooping, he never went out. He was a loner, but look at Kobe Bryant now, like 5 championships, one of the greatest to ever do it and he wasn't the most talented, but he worked so hard to get those successes and get the accolades, that's why I do what I do. But like I said, you see the successes, but you don't see the work that goes into it. You don't see the sacrifice. That's a misconception as well that people don't see. And like I said, I'm not here just to do this just to do this. I'm not making a basic video. I'm trying to make the best thing possible. And also I'm not just trying to make a video. I'm trying to make an experience. That's how I go about it.
Yeah, everyone would love to shoot the college football playoff on New Year's Day, but nobody's willing to give up their New Year's Eve in order to do it.
Exactly.
100%. Yeah. 100%. So what do you do differently that you think separates you? Like what do you mainly focus on in your videos that really allows it to pop and stand out on socials?
Ooh. It's actually a good question. It's a really good question. Because there's so much that goes into it. I think the overall experience, or overall on that question, on that answer, I really try to focus on. I'm very detailed. With a lot of my work. I try not to be, but it's one of those things where it's like if you're going to do like for example, if you're going to do like an animation or whatever, some people want to go. I animate by frames basically. So I go one frame. Some people will like start at one frame and then they'll skip part of the timeline and then do another keyframe and then make their small edits along the way, and then they'll do it. And then they just go. Now we can do the same effect, but mine is going to have more of a impact or more, it's going to have more quality. There's more that went into it, and it's going to look a lot better compared to someone who just like, okay, they want to like spend a little bit of time on this, not a lot of bit of time on this. It's also my fault too, and I'm getting more efficient at that. But like I said, it's one of those things where it's like, again, I'm going to go frame by frame, whereas someone else is going to go like maybe three other frames, and it's not going to be as smooth. I want my stuff to be smooth. I don't want it to look like, oh, anybody can do it. I want my stuff to look like, oh no, this is one of a kind. This is Brandon Banks. This is how, like every video that I put out or whatever, a lot of people will say, yeah, no, that's Brandon right there. That's definitely him, Mm-hmm. So yeah, like I said, very detailed. Very detailed. And I'm also like trying to use like energy and emotion to drive my videos as well.
Is there anyone that you tried to emulate when you were first getting started? Because I don't know, for me personally, I feel like I'm still at the stage where I'm not sure I know my authentic style for videos. So I'm kind of like picking from what I like, what I see from other creators. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I get a little bit too emulative, if that's a word.
Yeah.
Which I don't like when other people do it. But I feel like it's part of the learning process, figuring out what you like and what you don't like. But is there anyone that you specifically looked at when you were younger getting into it?
Like as far as like in the same field that I'm in, or just in general, like anything?
I guess in general, anything really.
I looked at a lot, man. Like obviously I looked at the other creatives. Like for example, Ohio State was one of those people where I was like, yeah, I want to be like that. Oh God, it's been so long, but like I'm willing to bet if I looked everyone up and everything, I'm willing to bet I can find their name, but there's this Justin Fields mixtape with Lil Uzi Vert, and I watched that so many times coming up, man. It was so cool. But yeah, I looked at other creatives, like obviously people at Ohio State. Oregon is really good as well. Shout out Louisville. Louisville has a good team and everything. So yeah, I looked at those guys, and then there was a couple other creatives as well that I looked at. Like he goes by Cool Mac with a K. He's actually LeBron and like Bronny's photographer and stuff, but he did so many stuff. He kind of introduced me to the whole ball follow thing, but he did all that stuff with pictures. It was like the coolest thing. Like I was so inspired by Cool Mac. I really was. And then like David Sosna as well. David Sosna, he used to work for the Cavaliers, then the Suns. I think he works for Fanatics now. David Sosna was a big help, one of my mentors as well. I haven't talked to him in a while, but again, David Sosna, know that you're loved. But yeah, there's a lot, and there's just way too many creatives. Oh yeah, Billy Quach as well. He's really good. He used to work for the Chiefs. Shout out Billy as well. Yeah, but away from like creatives, like that works in sports and stuff, a lot of my inspiration comes from like anime and comic books and stuff and all the nerdy stuff, video games, everything. Like, you not see the jacket? Like, this is a Naruto jacket. Like, come on, We nerdy over here, y'all.
Yeah, I saw that the Ja Morant edit. Where It was kind of cartoon. It had the cartoon cover. I love that.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Actually, it was Spider-Verse. It was inspired from the Spider-Verse. So like if you, obviously when you see the title and stuff, you see like all the Spider-Man comic book covers, and then you see Ja's comic book and stuff. Like I just masked that out. Then I made my own poster, just inspired from a comic book, and then I made my little effects and stuff to make it look like 3D and flapping and whatever and stuff. And then here we are. So yeah, but like I said, I watch a lot of anime, and I really try to incorporate it in my videos. I think that's also kind of going back to the other question of like, what stands out about your videos? Oh yeah, I'm willing to throw in anime, a lot of anime in there. So yeah,
and I feel like that helps you stand like that helps you promote your style and market your style.
Yeah,
you see it like you were saying, they see it and they know it's Brandon Banks. You know? So what do you think other people do wrong? I guess like you've won awards, you've put out great stuff. What do you think you see other people doing wrong in the industry, or maybe things that you don't like in sports socials?
Oh, that's I don't even think I can even answer that, honestly, because it's like even then, it's like I could be making some of the best stuff, but I do a lot of wrong as well. You know, I'm willing to bet I do some kind of wrong. It's just one of those things where it's like I don't know if I said it. It's provocative, if that's the right term or the word. But it's like it's all about perspective. You know what I mean? It's like people may not be as detailed as me or whatever, but they're still in their own creative process. You know, it would be wrong of me to say like, oh, what are people doing wrong, and tear down their creative process. Like we're all creative, we're all beautiful people, everything. You know. It's one of those things where it's like, now if they come to you or whatever and tell them how you would do something, you can do that. But to say like, oh, like tearing down someone's creative work or whatever, I can't do that. I learned the hard way on that. So.
I like that answer. Yeah. I guess I was more so getting at like, what do you think the sports industry in general could be doing better?
Okay. Yeah.
And this kind of on the flip side, what do you like that you've seen in the sports industry today that people are doing more of, that they haven't really been doing before?
People are actually doing more anime edits. You know, that's one. But but there's a lot of people that are doing like, the flashy edits. Like it doesn't even have to be like the anime stuff. Like for example, USC, they're doing like those 3D edits and everything. They're really good. What else? There's the whole 3D edits like. There's that, and then even just like the whole fast edit thing. Like it's just I can't really explain it, but like it's just the aesthetic about it, where it's like it's flickering, it's fast, it's flickering. There's a flash to it. It's fast. It gets you. It really like tests your senses a little bit to make sure it's like, hold on, what was that? Let me watch that again. Like then the first time you watch it, it's like whoa, like it messes with your senses where in an exciting way, but when it makes you want to go back to watch it to see like, okay, what was that? How did they do that? That was so cool, So yeah, and that's something I'm also trying to learn as well. I'm a good fast editor, but I feel like I can be doing more. I always feel like I can be doing more.
I feel like it's also a lot to do in post.
It is.
I was telling you on the pre-show call, I filmed with my cousin up at Miami, and it's like, it was cool to film. It was really fun. It was my first D1 game filming. It was awesome. Loved it. Of course, undefeated team too made it a little bit better.
Yeah, I need to know how he went about that entire season. I would love to hear that.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah, tell him hit me up.
Oh, I got you. I'll connect y'all. Because I asked him about that. I was like, how did they take that story and run with it? But it's insane what they did this year. But I just didn't realize how much goes into post until I got back, and I'm like, dude, you got to cut, you got to edit, you got to color grade, then you got to make an edit off of that, and it's multiple probably, and it's so much.
Depends on how much you put into it. There's a lot. Sometimes it can be a basic edit. Sometimes it can be the most difficult edit or longest edit, and sometimes you got to do all of that, and depending on how the game or the day or whatever, you have to do all that within a day or maybe less. Like especially like imagine being in tournament play and having to put out like some kind of recap. And I'm someone who doesn't want to put like together 30, 45 seconds. It's like, no, I'm using my 2 minutes. I'm using however much time I can get I don't want to go now. I don't want to go like 5 minutes, whatever. That's too much. But if I can tell a good story within like 2 minutes, 20 seconds and stuff, I'm doing good. So yeah, but yeah, like I said, there is a lot that goes into these videos.
Is there anything else that goes on behind the scenes that most people don't see? Video specific, I guess. This kind of goes hand in hand with the misconception question. Mm-hmm. But is there anything else that people don't know about sports that goes on behind the scenes?
We're all people. That's another thing. Like, yes, you see these players. Yes, you see the coaches. You see me. You see the cheerleaders. All that. We're all people at the end of the day, man. Like, we can be, there's moments where everybody's gonna be a celebrity and feel like a celebrity, you know. Like even me, what am I doing signing autographs like to kids and everything? It's like, oh my God, you're the camera guy. Can we get your autograph? That freaked me out, by the way. Actually, it's like, that's awesome, I'm so serious. I have pictures of it and everything. I'll send it to you. Nice. But yeah, seeing that freaked me out. But still, it's like, yes, you have those celebrity moments, but at the end of the day, we're just regular people. So like, so obviously we had a whole new staff and everything with Coach Miller, and then 15, 16 other guys. I think 16. Basically, everyone was new, from coaching staff to players, strength trainer. The only two people that remained, well, three really, as far as like staff and stuff, were me, obviously video guy, and then Brendan Mullins, one of the assistant coaches, and then Jack Seltsam. He's been at Emory forever. Like, my God, he's been through 3 coaching changes, all that, And then we had a couple of like former players who turned like into like student assistants as well. But yeah, to have to be around those guys from the first practice and stuff, and their energy, and then going on the Bahamas trip and like getting to see these guys, and then just going the entire season with them, was awesome. And even then, like even with like when I tell you, I really appreciate Coach Miller and the new staff and incoming staff. Like, words can't describe how much those guys mean to me and their support. Like, from day one, they were hyping me up, and it shocked me. It really did. It's like, I haven't even made a video. You've seen my work, but I haven't made a video for you guys, and you guys are already calling me the GOAT. And like, I'd rather be shedding tears sometimes. So, yeah, it's I really appreciate how much support they've given me and how much they like really rocked with me, and looked out for me and stuff. Like, I know I can be a lot, but again, I am so appreciative of, Coach Miller, Ernie, Mullins, Shahens, Jordan, Colin, Mardrakus Wade. Who else? I hope I'm not missing anyone else. Oh God. You got to realize we have like 18 people like on a coaching staff. Our whole coaching staff is a whole soccer starting lineup, So it's like, I hope I don't miss a name, but just know, who you are. A-Rob, Easley, Rome, Eric. Oh, again, Jack, I'll throw you in there. E-Fred, just because. Jason, even though you messed up my video one day. But still, there's nothing but love for everyone, even the managers and stuff too. I love the managers. I love everybody on that staff. I love everybody on this team. I love this program. That's actually why I came to Emporia State. Was this program, its tradition as a whole, was just amazing, and I really wanted to be a part of it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But like I said, the connections, I really went sidetracked. The connections, the people that you meet, and then getting to see who they are off the court and learning about their story. Yeah, that's the cool part of everything.
And especially with you having those connections and getting those opportunities from those connections sometimes. Mm. If somebody didn't have those, it kind of goes back to the first question, but if somebody didn't have those and they really wanted to make those connections, is there a way that you think they could go about it that wouldn't feel weird, wouldn't make them stand out in a bad way, but a way that they could get their foot in the door and kind of meet those people, get in the right rooms, get their face out there, so that if they made something and other people saw it, they'd be like, oh, I know that guy. Like,
I have an idea. It's one of those things where all right, like when it comes to like building that, I would say I would look at it like this, like building that connection with the coaching staff and have them trust you. Go to them and ask what they want or need, what they want kind of the identity of the creative side to be. Because that also goes into recruiting. That also goes into like even your recaps and stuff like that too. It's like for example, one of our sayings this year was by any means necessary. And it's like, okay, if you want to do something by any means necessary, maybe make a trailer that kind of talks about like by any means necessary. Or if the team, like I literally made this, if a team is going through adversity or whatever, you see it in my UIC recap, but when a team's going through adversity and stuff, show them like the moments of adversity and how they're able to overcome it, but I'm still add your personal spin to everything. But like I said, ask them, work with them, figure out some kind of compromise or whatever. Make sure you get their full trust. So that way, like you give them what they want, but eventually it's one of those things that's like, hey, you do whatever. You know what we want. Go crazy with it.
And that would be for somebody like working
yes.
at a sports program?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, you gotta give the coaches what they want. And then, like I said, just talk, again, like, yeah, they're coaches, but at the end of the day, they're regular people. All right. Once you get past that, oh my God, that he's the head coach, or, oh my God, that's the star player. Once you get past that, you realize, oh, it's a cool dude, regular person,
Yeah, that's something that I really need to work on too. Because sometimes I put people on pedestals and you just gotta remember they're people. It is really hard.
The one thing, and then okay, this is something where this is something I go by, and it helps me a lot. If you can get a laugh out of them, just one quick laugh, it calms you down a lot. It's like if you make a stupid joke or whatever, and they laugh from it, or just something about your personality or charm, they laugh from it, dude, it loosens you up a lot. Even just like a small, it's like, I saw that. Oh, there's a light in there, So yeah, and after that, it's like if the one thing that made him laugh, it's like, okay, I'm gonna keep poking at this again. How did I deliver that? So
yeah, true.
Yeah,
true.
That's with anything. So.
Knowing my luck, I'd make a joke that would not land.
Yeah,
like everyone that knows me would know I'd make an awkward joke,
but make it your charm. Make it your charm, though.
True.
Yeah.
True. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. So that's for somebody within an organization switching to maybe somebody outside if they're applying to a job.
Mm-hmm.
You brought up Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else had brought up Twitter on the pod before.
Yeah.
Is Twitter like the spot to be to make connections? Because if somebody's applying to a job, let's say they're applying to Murray or like Kentucky or something like that, is there something they could do to differentiate themselves from like the 200 other applicants that are probably applying for that job and want it just as much, if not more than them?
Good question. That's an excellent question. It kind of goes back to, or actually, I don't know if I actually said this. Like if you're going up against a job with 200 applicants, and this is the way I go about it, you just gotta have a mentality about yourself, man. Like really good mentality. And it goes back to self-love and stuff too. But when you have a certain mentality about yourself, like the way you approach everything, the way you walk, the way you do things, all that, and then it builds your confidence and stuff, once you're confident in who you are, oh man, like you become unstoppable. You really do. Where it's like, okay, there's 200 other people, but these 200 other people ain't Brandon Banks. They're not me at all. And that's where you stand out. Like you put in the work, you went through your obstacles, your challenges, all that, and you survived and you made it through. And on top of that, you're still good enough to love yourself as well. Like I say I'm the best at a lot. I even told someone that I could make a cake and be the best thing ever. I failed, by the way, but that's how confident and how much self-belief and love that I give myself. Because again, like when you have that confidence and stuff, you don't know what can go right. Like a lot can go right. The world is yours at that point. So yeah, like I said, when it comes to the other 200 applicants and stuff, and you show that you're one of one. You really show that you're one of one, and that's with a job. That's with like love, friendships, life in general. And, Heck, even in a video game, it's like, you ain't gonna beat me. I'm the best. You might get whooped like 0-17, but at least you have that mentality, and you keep getting better from that point on too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure with that cake you learned a lot. The next cake you make, definitely gonna be better. Definitely gonna be better.
It's gonna be a while, y'all. That cake was ugly. that did deflate my confidence a little bit. There's like a little outside of the cake was cool. Then you saw the middle. I was like, ooh, you still mushy. Ugh. You ain't sexy at all.
That's a tough look.
Yeah, we ain't making the cake till then. The cake was ugly. I'm sorry.
I'm glad you did not bring a cake for me to try.
Yeah,
we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we'd probably be making a trip to the hospital.
So closing the chapter on sports industry breaking in, if you could just tell somebody one thing to help them jumpstart their career in sports, what's the one thing you would leave them with?
That's a hard question. There's so much good stuff I can say. That's a very hard question. Oh man. Be your best self through the good and the bad. You know, it takes work. You know, it really does. But really try to be the best version of yourself, of who you want to be. Like, if you want to see yourself at your 5 years down the line, and you're at like the highest of the high. What would that look like? And once you visualize that and realize, okay, this is what I want to be, along with that, it takes work, but walk like you really have that, move like you have that, that Lamborghini, even though your Camry breaking down right now. Walk like you have like 20 pairs of J's when your Converse are like, talking like this, walk like that.
Walk like you got that FX3.
Exactly. Instead of, using your flip phone. I would still make a good video with a flip phone. That's just me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
I liked the comeback of the old camcorder style videos where like the big programs are shooting with those.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I did that. I need to do it. I'm probably going to do it more next year. But yeah, like I said, like be the best version of yourself, even though you're not there yet. Have that mentality of being the best version of yourself. Like I said, everything you do it all goes back to you. You know what I mean? Like every decision, every move you make, just everything in general, food you eat, the people you interact with, it all goes back to you. All right? And it's one of those things where you really have to invest in a lot of those things, and then invest a lot and be passionate about it. Because like I said, when those things come back to you, it grows you. It really does. So yeah, again, be the best version of yourself. And along the way, like I said, no matter what, hype yourself up and love yourself. Simple as that. And the royal is yours after that.
Yeah, and you brought this up earlier. People want to be around people like that. And so if you are at the job, if you're at a program, if you act like that, people around are going to notice. If they go off to other schools, like the one guy did at UT Martin, they're going to remember you. They're going to be like, oh, yeah, that's the guy that had the good attitude. He showed up. He gave his best every single day. And, yeah, he's going to remember that. Anytime they have an opening, that's the guy they're going to recommend, 100%.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, you're also the last thing, you're never too big for anything. Humble yourself too. All right. Like, you can have the confidence, but definitely be humble enough to be like, okay, I made that mistake. That's my fault, but get better from it.
What other advice would you give someone trying to build a career in sports, whether they're in it or they're trying to get into sports? Is there anything that you would tell them that we haven't talked about?
Don't be scared. I will say that. That's the next thing, especially as a creative. I wouldn't say don't be scared, but definitely you got to shoot the ball. Simple as that. Shoot the ball. Hoop, Like, if you're going to, you can shoot every shot and miss, but eventually a shot's going to fall. So all those denies and those no's that you're going to get, those failures you're going to get, it's going to suck, but you got to keep trying at the end of the day. Like you want to get some points, something. If you want it bad enough, keep shooting. I rather go 1 for 100 than, I guess 1 for 10, because that showed I stopped shooting, because eventually one shot's going to go, it's going to fall. And sometimes all you need is that one shot. It could be your game winner, there's that. And then, that's really it.
I was going to bring up a point about that, but shoot. I forget what I was going to say to that. Well, what is the biggest lesson that you've learned in your career so far? We're going to do the closing questions now.
Okay. It kind of goes back to like being your best self, but I'll add a little bit more into it. Like not only be your best self, but be your best authentic self. Be real, be you, be unapologetic about it, because that's how I ended up here. I was not fake, all right, on who I was. I was always Brandon Banks. I was never, trying to be this random guy or whatever. I was genuine. I was authentic, with everything I do. I'm passionate as well. So yeah, it's definitely those three things. Like be real, be real, be passionate, be caring, be all that. Don't be fake. In the long, I would even go as far as this. Even be a good person. Like I said, kind of going back to everything, because when you're a crappy person, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you're a terrible person, no one is going to speak up for you. Simple as that. Like I've seen people have their downfall because they cheated the system, or they were just bad people, and shortly after that, they never worked sports again. They're still struggling. Yeah, all because he cheated people, all because he was a bad person and did wrong. You definitely don't want to do not do that kind of wrong in sports. They will remember you. They really will. And then it's never too late to start over. It's never too late to reinvent. It's never too late. I wouldn't even say start over, but it's never too late to start. Think about it. Samuel L. Jackson didn't start acting till he was 40. Oprah, how old was she when she started doing her show and stuff? Even then,
at least 40.
Yeah,
I would think.
Yeah, 40.
I always remember the KFC dude started when he was like 60 or 70.
Exactly.
Or like
it's never too late. Those are people that kept trying, as well, especially then. It's like Oprah was someone that kept trying. The KFC guy was someone who kept trying. Samuel L. Jackson was someone who kept trying. Again, I'd rather go 1 for 100 than 1 for 10, because it showed I kept shooting. So
because you said that, the brain cells finally connected. I remember what I was going to say.
Oh, there we go.
Like you were saying earlier, free 99. Free 99. You got to do stuff for free if you're trying to get into it.
Yes.
So like if maybe you are 40, and I feel like, I don't know, looking from the outside in, breaking into sports, you got to start small and work your way up. Like you're not going to probably get a manager job at the Dolphins when you're 40 years old. You got to have experience in the industry. But if you're 40, maybe part-time or in your free time, start doing things on the side for free.
Yeah.
Any way you can to break in. And then, like you were saying, work your way in, figure it out. But if you really want it, you got to make it happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the only way.
Yep. And so, last closing question. If you could work at any program in the country, and I say program because you can do pro, you can do college, you can do whatever you want, any sport too. Which one would you pick?
That's a very challenging question. Because funny enough, it's like I thought Kentucky was the one job that that was my mountaintop and everything. Then I left, and here I am at Emporia State, and we're a mid-major, and like obviously I have my days where the job feels like the job. But overall, this is definitely the best job I've ever had so far. I still have a lot more stories. I still have, a lot more gas in the tank. I still have a lot more challenges and obstacles I want to overcome and put myself to the test in. So whether it's Murray State, whether it's any other college, heck, maybe eventually I'll make that jump to pro. I feel like I will one day. I know I will one day. But until then, I feel like I'm living the dream right now. I'm someone that is going to make the best of the situation he's in, So if there was one program, it doesn't matter the program, honestly. But I'll say it like this: like, the good thing, the good things won't happen for you. But the reason why is because maybe you're the one good thing. You're not going to receive those good things, but you're there to be the blessing for everyone else. Doesn't matter the program. Whether you're the team that goes 31-0, whether you're the team that goes 20-12, or 0-36. Save your soul if you're. I'll pray for you if you're winless.
Ain't much of a story out of that.
Yeah, but still, it's all like. Okay, I'll say it like this, and it's not the program I work for, but you are the program. So be the best program you can be.
I like that.
Boom, mic drop.
I like that. Yeah,
I just thought of that too.
God puts you there for a reason. I mean, if maybe let's say you had a dream to work at a certain program, if you're meant to be elsewhere, make the most of where you're at. But yeah, well, Brandon, thank you so much for coming on, man. Appreciate it. Provided so much value. Wish you nothing but the best in whatever's next. And I'll be rooting for Murray State this year for sure.
It's been a really fun podcast. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Yeah. And I really hope I inspire somebody out there. The baby blue Murray State jerseys this year, I'm sorry, those were there was like obviously the blue, and then we had our baby blues last year and they were like a different logo, but to have the racers across with the blue and everything, oh my God, just perfect.
That's a good
pick. Perfect.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
And yet to this day, I haven't had somebody not take the home team first pick. I feel like he got to.
Yeah.
But that was
but it's not just the white. It's like, this is baby blue. This is the alternates. Mm-hmm. Dope. If I could get a jersey like that, custom jersey like that, I would take it happily.
Oh yeah. They got to get you one before you're out.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I had the baby blues on there. Mm-hmm. Nice addition for sure.
All right.
I'm gonna go with UIC in my first pick.
Ooh, that's UIC. A good one.
They got the red, they got the black, they got the white, and they also have the baby blue.
Mm-hmm.
You can't ask for better colors, but they also have the Chicago flag on the side.
Yeah.
And then the skyline on the shorts.
Yeah, I saw that. Those are tough. You said they were black, the black ones?
They've got all.
No, they're baby blue.
They've got all four colors. But second pick, I'm gonna go to Bradley.
Ooh.
Kind of out of nowhere, but I feel like they got some solid ones. I'm a sucker for cursive. They got cursive on the front.
Yeah.
A lot of these teams do have cursive though, but I don't know. I feel like nobody's heard of Bradley either. Yeah. So I'm gonna throw an unknown on there.
Yeah. Bradley's baby blues are also cool too. I'll give him that. Any school that does baby blues, pretty good. So yeah, but yeah, no, Bradley does have good jerseys. It's one of those things too where it's like, I'm going to tell you straight up, the jerseys I'm going to pick is all Nike. Just so you know.
Respect. Nike's got the best ones.
Yeah, exactly. No disrespect to anybody else, but I'm sorry, I'm Nike or nothing for me. So yeah. All right. So second one, and I think they came out with these this year. You and I, they had these light purple jerseys, and they with dark purple trim and stuff. Kind of like it was similar to ours, but obviously you and I, those were good as well. I haven't seen them. I think I've seen them wear it once. It was like it was against a special game or whatever, but still, I've seen them wear them. Those were good. Those are some good jerseys as well.
Those, good pick.
Yeah.
Solid pick.
Yeah, and then I gotta give some love to, and I really appreciate their school and their creative teams and stuff. Illinois State, all right? They have these white jerseys, like the whiteout jerseys. Like, if I remember right, they have white trim or something. I hope so. If not, we're gonna cut that out.
Yeah, I love all white in football. I was just saying, I love all white in football.
Yeah,
doing it in basketball, good move.
Yeah,
solid
move. Absolutely.
Good pick. For me, it's tough. I got 3 on here. I got Drake, Indiana State, and Evansville.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna take Evansville.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take it for one reason and one reason only, because they're kind of trash, but they're so different that like I have to take them. And I say that only for their orange and royal blue jersey that they came out with, because it's the first jersey that I've seen.
They had a blue jersey?
It's got sleeves on it. Like it's full sleeves.
Really?
I've never seen that before. It's like a t-shirt. It looks like a t-shirt. I was like, that's weird as hell.
Really?
But
I didn't know that.
I'm going to take it.
Okay.
Because it kind of looks good. I mean, it's a good looking jersey, but it's got sleeves on. I don't know why. It's a throwback, allegedly.
Okay.
So
all right.
There will be a picture thrown up.
Right.
It's unique.
I gotta see it. I gotta see it. Okay.
But